Well, apparently the investigating officer is on the right trail. At least a search of the home of his suspect disclosed a gun such as that named by the ballistic expert. In the background here, you will note a collection of firearms. This is a library of every firearm used in America, regardless of type, kind, or place of manufacture. The ballistic expert determines the suspect's gun is the type used in the killing. Now for the final test. A Remington .38 special bullet, the same as was used by the killer, is fired from the suspect's gun into a can of waste. A search of the contents of the can turns up the bullet. Does it match the fatal bullet? With the aid of a specially designed microscope, the bases of the test and fatal bullets are viewed simultaneously. By turning them under the microscope, the expert readily matches the grooving of the rifling on the bullets. Under the microscope, no two gun barrels are exactly alike. Markings left on the bullets are alike then only where the bullets pass through the same barrel. In matching bullets, it would be a coincidence if one or two of these markings matched. But when almost 100 definitely match, the evidence is accepted conclusively in court. The art of moulage is the making of casts for preservation of various significant imprints as evidence. Markings are preserved of tire treads and footprints left at the scene of a crime, wounds, deformities, faces of unidentified dead, and similar police subjects. When a sheriff calls the state police to report a missing person, a great system of instantaneous communication springs into action. By telephone, radio telegraph, telegraph and teletype, information reaches the various operators and is transmitted to the State Police Dispatch Office, nerve center of Michigan's police communications. The dispatcher who receives all police call has had years of experience. His command is accepted without question. By radiophone, the message of this missing person goes on the air. And from a sky-sweeping tower, it flashes instantly to police officers at desk at the headquarters and riding the highways in scout cars and on motorcycles. By radio telegraph, the message on the missing person and all other messages pertaining to the crime and criminals having a nationwide significance are transmitted to police of adjoining states and then to the nation. Compare this speedy communication with the slow and cumbersome methods of yesterday. Police have learned through experience that information on crime must be maintained at one central point. Immediately upon the commission of a crime in any section of the state, the police and sheriffs report full details to the state police dispatcher. From this information, flashing in from various sections, the dispatcher and his assistants can correlate the facts and determine from similarities that the same criminals may be sweeping across the state, committing crimes as they go through widely separated areas. The results of such study are quickly broadcast to all departments so that each may be on the lookout against similar crimes. They are also thus banded in a network to apprehend the fleeing criminals. It would be impossible for each individual police department to maintain such records and correlate them to such advantage. Upon apprehension of the two men at Petoskey, for example, for robbery armed, the police there immediately report such apprehension to the dispatcher at East Lansing, who in turn so notifies the entire police network enlisted in the search. The various records are listed on cards, and these in turn are passed to the dispatcher. The information they contain is thus accessible for quick study and reference. These visual files carry reports of missing persons, stolen property, automobiles used in the commission of crime, runaway children, and similar information. The dispatcher, as clearinghouse for all this information, compiles it and frequently reconstructs from his record the entire story of the flight of criminals across the state. Thus, in our Petoskey arrest, the dispatcher broadcast a message canceling these robbery complaints. If records show the men guilty of crime in another county, this information serves to notify authorities there to join in the prosecution. Attention all stations, stand by. Report of a bank robbery and murder of cashier. 3 men heavily armed, driving large black car, license unknown. Instantly, the machinery of the dispatch office goes into action. All available manpower and equipment of the police of the state are at the command of the dispatchers. From this central office, they coordinate movements of state, county, and city officers, placing them at strategic locations in an effective blockade. Each pin placed in the map represents a police car assigned to its location. Record of these assignments is kept not only in writing, but on this lighted panel. A written record of each dispatch is maintained at the dispatcher's fingertips. Dispatches to city police and sheriff's cars are recorded likewise on separate panels. signals emanate from this massive tower at East Lansing, the control station of the State Police radio network. To assure wide state coverage, substations are maintained at Houghton Lake and Paw, from which the message is immediately repeated to police and sheriff's officers in these respective areas. The powerful transmitting equipment maintained at the 3 state police stations represent the most modern type of equipment produced by radio engineers. Every city police radio station, in turn, repeats the message to their cars, thereby making them instantly available for any special assignment which the dispatcher deems advisable. Scenes such as this are enacted every time the dispatcher assigns a car to its station. Grim, determined troopers, ready for every emergency, block every possible avenue of escape for the criminal who is somewhere within the blockade ring. Sheriff's cars take their positions. The city police take places in the blockade at the boundaries of their cities. In the establishment of the tri-state police blockade, state border lines vanish. State police of Michigan are joined by those of Ohio and Indiana. Linked by modern police communication, they throw up lines of defense in unison. Shoulder to shoulder they stand, one force against the common enemy, crime. Comprising the staff of Commissioner Olander are trained police officers long in the service of the organization. Policies are determined at weekly conferences. Michigan is divided into 8 state police districts, each with its commanding officer. These district commanders meet periodically with the commissioner, and problems of enforcement and discussions of policies are taken up. Building up the policies of the Michigan State Police and extending its services to the public form the primary pattern of these conferences. The district commander, in turn, holds periodical meetings with the post commanders in his district. Policies determined at the central office conferences are passed on. Methods by which the local commander may carry out the general enforcement program are determined. Highway patrol schedules for the district are drawn up so that the various posts can contribute the maximum mileage without overlaps or unpatrolled sections. The troopers receive their information on policies and enforcement programs when the post commander returns to his station and gathers around him the men of his particular command. Back of every successful organization is a business administration department with its close check on revenues and expenditures, necessary purchases for posts in both peninsulas, payrolls for troopers and employees, and checking the cost on the maintenance of a fleet of cars and motorcycles involves a tremendous task in accounting. Police training today requires the graduate must not only be versed in modern methods of criminal capture, but be a broadly educated person with a thorough grounding in the sciences. In accordance with that conception, Michigan State College, the Michigan State Police, and the Michigan State Crime Commission joined some time ago in setting up a 5-year college course in police administration. Proximity of the college and the state police barracks presented an unusual opportunity for such training. Students in this course work with trained men in state police laboratories. After 3 years at college, the student serves an 18-month internship under the immediate direction of the state police engaged in actual police work. Its crime museum, radio station, and interesting laboratories make the Michigan State Police headquarters a mecca for school groups, clubs, and visitors. An invitation is extended to you to better know your state police by a visit here or at any of the posts in the state. Another day starts. The patrol cars and motorcycles roll out on the highways. 100 tasks lie ahead of the men in blue and gray. The day may see a prison break or a bank robbery, or maybe only a line fence dispute to settle. These men are as near to you and your home as the nearest telephone. They are trained to help and protect you and yours. It is Michigan's first line of defense against crime. It is dedicated to ideals which this flag symbolizes. They are your state police.